Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the episode 5 of Talking Times podcast. I'm Maick Ofel, your host, and we're going to have an amazing and a bit creepy show, not as always. Today, I have here with me Lavínia Oliveira. Thank you for being here. And, well, we have a very interesting topic. She's a teacher at Times Idiomas, and she loves true crime stories. You're about to meet her right after our intro. Lavínia, thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure.
Can you please introduce yourself to our listeners?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Lavínia and I'm a teacher at Times Idiomas.
Nice. Okay, being an English teacher, how did you start noticing and how did you discover that, well, I like true crime stories? What's the story behind it?
Actually, I started to like it, to enter in this universe before even thinking in being an English teacher. I used it to watch CSI and Criminal Minds when I was like 11, 12 with my mom. And then I was like, oh, there's stories that are true crimes, not just like the make ones that we see in TV, in movies or series. They're true ones. And I got interested in this, like discovering this.
So you used to watch with your mom and then you guys were like chat about trying to solve the puzzle, something like this?
Yes, we tried, but everything in silence, Like, I was like, Mom, I think it's gonna end in this way here. She was like, no, it's gonna end in this way. And we always discovered because it was easier.
Yes.
So we tried to discover the end, and it was pretty nice. It was pretty
cool. Have you ever played one of those board games with other kids that is always the butler,
Oh, no, never. I don't have patience to play games, to be honest. I just like to watch, to listen, and be like there.
You mentioned Criminal Minds,
yes,
True Detective.
Criminal Minds.
Okay.
Yes.
Was always the ones that are more serious, not like Monk and...
No, yes. Just CSI and Criminal Minds that were more like serious, like serious, like...
Okay. And
everything.
as a kid, did you used to talk about that with other kids too?
No.
Okay. It was like...
No. I was like just inside of me.
Okay. Because I would ask, has anyone ever got a bit scared when you said something like this?
I wouldn't say scared, but I would say surprised. Apparently, I don't look like a person who likes it. People say that it's so cute and things like this. So I don't look like a person that really likes true crimes and likes to talk about it. But in some classes, I already said, "Oh, guys, I like true crimes. I listen to it," and students was like, "Teacher." You? I was like, yes, me. Come on.
But what people don't get it that we were chatting before is not the story itself. Like, there was this hideous crime and you like that. No, we don't like the facts. We like the narrative, right?
Yes, the narrative. I really like true crimes, not because, I see people dying every time. No, it's because it makes me think. Like, it makes me... literally think, like makes my brain work, this like it happened because of this, and the end is like this because of this, like make a puzzle in my head. So I like because of this the narrative.
It's possibly there is a relation. The reason people like this is like the reason we gossip.
Yeah.
Like if you think gossip is something shallow, there is an anthropological reason. It's for the safety of the group. That neighbor. Yes, that neighbor, he killed his entire family and buried them on in the basement. So it's something like that,
Yeah.
It kind of protects us as a group.
Yep.
And do you think the stories, the shows that we have today, are they more interesting than the ones you used to watch in the past, or kind of the same?
The shows, like the series and movies, I have to say no. I have a place in my heart, especially for CSI and Criminal Minds, so I cannot replace them. I would feel horrible if I had to replace them, so I will say no.
Okay.
I will say no.
a message for you. If you are in the chat, leave a recommendation of shows or series. Lavínia will share with us a few YouTube channels, right?
Yeah.
And there you can, if you like these stories too, you can go there and access. Okay, so if you have any recommendation, please, or a question, leave in our chat. Okay, all right. In your opinion, Lavínia, what makes a good crime story?
I think good crime stories will depend of how people tell it. The narrative, how the person tells it needs to be good. But I think the best ones are the complete ones. When you have the beginning of the criminal, how, why, when, the historical, how he did it or she did it, the whole thing until the judgment. Was he in prison? He was not. Why? So the complete ones, when you have the whole information.
Do you prefer? Because I'm thinking about movies now, but when it's a story, do you prefer those that are pretty much straightforward, something realistic, of course it's a real story, or something more like the the Scooby-Doo technique? They use something related to the supernatural, something like this, and in the end it's nothing like that. So, or do you have a preference about that?
I think talking about true crimes, I prefer the realistic ones. I think we can have a good idea of what really happened, and I think this is important to know what really happened. But now if we're talking about movie series, I'm okay with the Scooby-Doo thing.
No, okay, yeah. Because sometimes I get a bit pissed off. I'm watching a movie and it gives, not always, but it gives the impression that it's something like this, of course it's the butler. And then you have a twist and it's something else.
I mean, if it is a good twist, it's okay. Okay, this twist makes sense. Okay. But if it doesn't make sense, it pisses me off too. I have to agree with you.
Which one do you think people will get hooked? A story that they kind of see as close to their daily lives, oh, this could have happened with me, or something really shocking that they, I don't know, could never imagine.
I think nowadays, maybe Columbine one, because of schools, we are having some news about it, you know. So, and I have some students that are relating to it too. So they're like, Lavínia, I'm afraid. So I think they would relate it to it more because, I mean, it could be your son, your daughter, or it could be even you.
And this is a reason that is important to talk about these things as well.
Of course.
Sometimes people want to keep the facts in a shell, but the gossip thing is something that can protect us, right?
Yes, of course. You can realize signals, oh, this guy's strange. Okay, I'm not gonna accept help from someone that's a stranger person, so it is important to talk about it. It's really important.
As a kid, have you ever saw something I don't know, in school, or maybe that you started to, oh my God, this is like that? Because we make associations all the time. Yeah.
Not as a kid, maybe more as an adult, in day by day, that's strange,
Really?
I'm not going there. No, I'm feeling that I shouldn't, so... more as an adult. As a kid, no, because as a kid it was more CSI Criminalized, more cinematographic things, so I couldn't do this relation. But now, as an adult, and with the really true crimes thing, I think I could relate things more.
Okay, and you mentioned that you prefer the villains.
Yeah.
Okay, this is something very important. When we say prefer, it means it's more interesting.
Exactly, guys. Yeah. Their stories are more interesting to know, analyze their personalities. Much more interesting than the heroes.
And which ones would you say that really got you intrigued,
President Snow by the Hunger Games.
Okay.
Yes, I hate the man, but I am really interested in the character itself. Because the whole construction of the character, you realize, oh, that's why. I'm not gonna give spoilers, but so that's why. Now I understand. like he's not right, but now I understand. Like he has his motivations, wrong motivations, but he had.
Yeah.
And there's a series and a trilogy of books that I kind of don't like, but the villain really got me is the Darkling from Shadows and Bones in English. Like he's good. He's a good villain.
Okay. You mentioned a reason you don't watch horror movies, right? Or terror movies.
I'm afraid of horror movies. It's kind of strange because I listen to it 24/7, but I don't like to see it.
Makes sense.
Think like the gore things, the violence, I really don't like to see it. I'm kind of sensitive for these things. I prefer to hear it because I want the knowledge. I want to know what can happen, how to protect, and because we can know our society also, but I don't like to see it. I think it's too strong to me.
Yeah, and something interesting I'm thinking now that you said, when you just focus in listening to the story, it has to be good to hook your attention.
Yes.
But nowadays with movies, it's all about jump scares or like it's just like and then the person, where's my cell phone? So you don't have that depth inside the movie. Is there any story that really made you like think for a while? Like you listen to it and you would think about that for weeks or maybe months even?
I would say Columbine too. I would say Columbine, JonBenet one, too. Like I was still thinking about JonBenet one.
Yeah, this we'll talk later because it's very interesting.
This one is very interesting.
Could you remind our listeners what was the Columbine one about?
Yeah, Columbine, it was a mass shoot that happened in a school in the United States. So a student shoot a lot of colleagues in the school.
There is kind of it's not a paradox. I would say it's more like a moral dilemma. But for example, we have some shows that are very sensitive. For example, I'll use a famous one like the one 13 Reasons Why, for example. Talk about terrible things that happens to some people. And some people are against it because they say, oh no, this will incentivize people to replicate, or if it's a famous murder, maybe create a copycat, you know. And other people know, they will say, well, this is something that can actually make us think about it. In order to avoid, you have to talk about that. I don't know. Which one you tend to go?
I am the one with talk about it.
Okay.
Definitely talk about it. Because if you want to know the problem, okay, what is the problem of the mass shooting? Okay, let's analyze it. We need to talk about it to go against it, to fight it. So we need to talk about it because we usually say like some excuse. Oh, it's because of this. It's because of this. No,
like
it's not.
You can name the thing like video games.
It's because of video games. It's because of our bullying. And it's not. It's not. If we search more about it, we really investigate it, we know that it's not about it. It's something really deeper.
Yeah, you involve it like a health problem, our mental health. It's probably with boys, like a lot of boys, they are afraid to admit they have any type of problem, especially when it comes to any psychological issue. Like, you do therapy, you're crazy, but it's a part of your body. So, I think something like that as well. And when people go like, it's because of rock and roll music or video games or movies, that's just an excuse.
Yeah, it's not the real fact. It's not the real thing that make people do it.
Okay, and in general, you don't need to talk about your favorite yet, but what are some that, let's suppose I want to start, listening to this type of podcast. What stories would you recommend that will make people intrigued?
I would recommend the famous ones because they are the famous ones. Because they are famous, they attract a lot of attention. So Jeffrey Dahmer, Elisa Matsunaga, João de Deus, also.
Oh, I remember this one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have something on the chat. One moment, guys. I will answer each one of you. Okay, let me see here. Oh, Taina loves you, by the way.
Love you too, Taina.
Hello, Jackie. Hello, Ingrid. Hello, Erika. Tatiani. Okay. She's very proud of you. Okay, Victor Vasconcelos. True Detective's a good one. The first season. Why? Only the first? The other ones are
bad? What happened?
what happened, Victor? It's bad. Yeah. Oh, the first one.
Okay, so let's watch just the first one.
Okay, can you please explain why, Victor? You got what? Cliche? Okay. Yeah, like talk about abortion is another topic that people don't like to talk. Yeah, Taina mentioned here. Marcel recommended here The People versus O.J. Simpson, American Crime Stories. Oh, American Crime Story. Yeah, yeah. Jacqueline is asking you, Lavínia. What's your opinion about the villain? Oh, Hannibal Lecter, my favorite one. Damn.
Hannibal Lecter?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't have an opinion about him, but I can have an opinion about him because I just don't know. You know, I'm still analyzing it, so
Okay.
I don't have a straight opinion about him. I have to agree that he's a good villain. Like,
Okay,
he's a good villain.
You're talking about Mads Mikkel. I forgot his. Do you know his last name? Mads Mikkelsen from the series, or Anthony Hopkins character?
Both of them were amazing. For what I saw, both of them were really amazing, but the movie one got me.
Yeah,
was pretty cool.
the first one I think is the first case of maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's the first case of a horror film that got an Oscar.
Yeah, I think it was.
And he had, I don't know if it's real, but I always hear these, Hannibal Lecter, it's a character who was like, I don't know, 10 minutes on screen, and he got the Oscar for Best Actor, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, why are villains so attractive in this? Attractive in terms of interesting, okay, guys? Don't be a villain. But why do you think they're so interesting?
I think because mostly of the villains nowadays, they have stories behind. Like, you got a hero. Okay, a hero. Why is he a hero? Oh, because he wants to help people. And the villain, why is he a villain? Does he or she has any reason? Or is something structures of society, what happened to him become a villain? Or he was born with this, why he was born with this, what happened? So I think we have much more things to ask to a villain than to a hero.
Makes sense.
Like, if you could ask to them.
Yeah, and especially because the good guys are the ones we are supposed to be, so it's kind of closer to normality. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Captain America, Superman, or whatever, but I mean the average Joe type of person. You know, you work, you have your family, you know, you don't kill anyone.
Yeah.
But the villains are those that we want to avoid, maybe. So
Yeah.
maybe there's a reason.
Yes, I mean, everything that we need to avoid is a little bit attractive to us, I think.
I have a question for the chat, guys. Are you a rubbernecker? Do you know what's a rubbernecker? Is that type of driver that when there is an accident, kind of does this, you know, you twist your neck all the way because you are so interesting, maybe fascinated about the accident that you stop paying attention on the traffic. And if you are, why do you think you are like that? Tell me. This is a safe area, okay, for you. Are you a rubbernecker?
Yes.
Okay.
I am, but I'm not interested in like
The gore thing.
Yeah, the gore thing. Oh, the blood, the person there. No, I want to know what happened. Whose fault? Like, who's the fault? You know? Whose fault? What happened?
Have you ever watched those 6 o'clock news? Like, that is always a tragedy, like with the Athena show, those type of things?
No, I don't like this kind of thing. No. I think they are too much.
Okay, they are the deep web of the story.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, let me take a look at the chat here. Thank you guys. Keep sending messages for us, okay? Hello, Edson. Okay, Victor asked it here. The second season isn't the same level of the first season. The plot does not hold you like the first season. But maybe, Victor, is because if it's more of the same, we kind of get accustomed, right? I mean, not always. We have Fast and Furious too. And some. Okay, now what is the... I don't want to use the best, but the most intriguing true crime story?
Intriguing, the
For you now.
For me, JonBenet Ramsey.
Okay.
It is an old one.
Mm-hmm.
It happened some really years ago.
Okay.
But it's interesting because we don't know really what happened in that day. So it triggers me until now.
Okay. Can you tell our what's this story about, please?
Yes. Really basically, it was a beautiful girl. Like she used to go to competitions of beauty because of her mother. And then in December 26th, I think, her mother found her dead. Like, she was dead. Like, without nothing. She was there, dead. She didn't know what happened. But the mother received a letter. And the letter was from inside the house because there was a notebook in there. And a person wrote the letter inside the house. And until today, we don't know what really happens, who killed JonBenet.
And you mentioned something that they tried to use the family as a scapegoat.
Yes, they tried. But everything was shown that it wasn't the family. Like DNA tests, the stories, everything, we can see that wasn't the family. Maybe the family was involved to someone to kill her, but they really did the act of kill her.
Okay. It becomes a conspiracy theory in a way.
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
a little bit.
You mentioned you have more than one.
Yes, I have a theory that is this one, like her father used to sell her body to other guys, and one of these guys know that her father received a lot of money of his company, and he wanted the money, but the mother called the police, and because of this, maybe this guy killed JonBenet. And there is another one that was her big brother also. Her brother killed her, and when it happens, her father took her brother to a friend's house. So her brother couldn't see anything because it's not good to a kid see it.
Of course.
I could understand it.
Yeah.
But people thought that it could be her brother too. Maybe he was jealous because she was like the perfect daughter. Maybe.
And how old was he? Close to her, maybe? She was 6, right?
She was 6. If I'm not wrong, she was like 14, maybe. She was kind of older.
There is a movie with is the boy I forget, Elijah Wood and Macaulay. That guy from Home Alone, Macaulay something, you know. Yeah. And it's in Portuguese they translate like evil angel, you know, that is about a kid who... Do you know any story involving kids? Like the kid was the evil guy?
The kid?
Or maybe because teenagers, like especially, it's very sad, but normally mass shooting involves teenagers. Do you know any story involving kids?
Teenagers,
like the orphan.
Yeah, but kids, not that I remember now. Like the kid maybe was a part of things that happened, but not like who really did it. It's just like in the game, let's say like this.
Have you ever heard of the Dark Triad?
No. No.
I heard before we started.
Yeah, I heard before we started,
okay.
But no.
Do you know these guys? Dark Triad. I'll put that on hold. No, okay, no spoilers. It's these are personality traits that are... If you ever wondered, guys, why are some, especially women, attracted to serial killers? You know, send letters, and I don't mean to be sexist or anything, but it's something that really happens. Like they receive a lot of letters and stuff like that. The reason is not because the guy is a serial killer, but they have this traits, personality traits, that is Machiavellianism, psychopathy, and narcissism. So they're very narcissistic, so they kind of behave in a way like, oh, I am the king of the party. And this posture is something that can sell the image of somebody attractive. It's not because the guy's a serial killer. The worst type of man for you to encounter in your life, okay? A lot of villains, they are based on these traits, you know. The one you mentioned, what's his name again?
Darkling from Shadows and Bones.
Okay.
Yes, he's totally like this.
Yeah, it's like that. So that's what makes it kind of the sexy appeal, you know. If you watch it 50 Shades of Grey, Christian Grey is a guy that display not the psychopathy in a way, but the kind of parts of these traits, you know? Well, do you know any local story or rumor maybe?
The one that you told me before we started again.
Yeah, that was kind of... If you know, guys, this is something that I want to ask you. If you have any local rumor or story, you know, those that your grandmother told you, share with us, you know. In Brazil, there are some famous ones, you know.
Yes, they're really famous ones.
Which one is your favorite?
João de Deus.
Why?
Because I like the ones that they don't involve just like culling and things like this, but they involve the thing like a manipulation. He manipulates a lot of people. And I like these ones because we always think, no, I wouldn't do this in this horror movie. No, the person's just stupid. You would.
Yeah.
It's because you say this out of the, in a different perspective, you're out of the situation. So you say like this. So I like to see things like this because, Lavínia, you could be manipulated.
Yes, and one thing is when you have the third person perspective.
Yes, it's really different because we always think, no, I wouldn't do this. But that man, he could manipulate a whole city. So do you really think that you couldn't be manipulated? You know? So yes, you could.
Yeah, it's a good reason because you have a kind of the social pressure behind it as well. Like, I don't want to be everybody else thinks this person is a nice guy, so he's probably a nice guy. Something like that, right? Okay. Has anyone ever asked you, like, why do you like that?
No, never why, but it's always really.
Okay, the surprise thing.
Yes, the surprise thing. People never asked me why, I think. Not that I remember. But it's always, really, teacher? You really like it? Really, Lavínia? Come on, you're so creepy. Things like this. The surprise one. I think, I like true crimes. It's really hard to sell it because it's kind of creepy. I have to agree with them.
It's very creepy.
It's a little bit creepy. I have to agree with them.
Okay. When do you normally listen to those stuff?
Every time I can. Like when I'm on my way to work, when I'm alone in my house, like, I have nobody to talk, when I have nothing to do and I want to do something before I go to sleep, like usually I put a case that I've already listened to sleep because I already know this one, so I'm not gonna lose anything. So, and if I put a new one, in the next day I'll listen to it again. So like every time that I can listen to it, I listen. It relaxes me. Okay.
What is your view on, for example, people whom, like we mentioned, Jeff Dahmer.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, I'm terrible with names. The Dahmer case, the father, I guess, he wrote a book about it, and the victims' family, they were kind of angry with all that. Oh, you're making money out of the tragedy. How do you see this? It would be can be productive to make movies or books about it, or no, let's just talk about it in a different way, in a different narrative.
It could be productive, but you really need to take care of how you do it. You know, if you want to write a book about it, you're totally right to write a book about it, because you can show how these people think, of serial killers think, how they deal with people, because like they have this thing, the dark trial that you said, so we need to pay attention on it. But now, like the series, I haven't watched it yet. I don't like the series too much, but the family didn't like it because people were falling in love for him, like, oh no, he's so nice, because of the character, because of the actor. I think that's dangerous, because depending of the way how you do it, you start to romanticize it, and that's extremely bad. Like, just don't.
No, in all possible aspects. Even if you think in a very selfish way, if you romanticize a serial killer, you could be the next victim.
Exactly.
Easily, What do you know about Charles Manson?
I've heard about this one.
Yeah,
I'm really bad with names too. I'm sorry.
Okay, good. I completely understand you. The crazy thing was because it was something like a cult. you know. And I don't know if he himself actually murdered anyone, or he was just the head, like, you know, the Machiavellism behind it, like manipulating everybody to do it. It's another risk as well, like people make like a fan club about that.
Yes. There are some cases that I've heard that people said, oh no, he shouldn't be arrested, he's so handsome. I'm like, he killed the person? Come on, like, what is happening?
Yeah.
That's extremely dangerous. I think it's extremely dangerous for people who likes it, like who think that they shouldn't, that romanticize it. But for people that don't even care about it, you know, is extremely dangerous.
When you are listening to any episodes, how do you normally feel? Like curious or creeped out or scared or relaxed? What's the sensation you normally have?
I would say that is a mix between curious and relaxed. It relaxed me because it relaxed me. It's a hobby that I have since I was a child.
So. It's a story, so yeah.
Yeah, the story itself. I really like narratives, I like stories itself. So it's really good to me. And I would say curious because I have this thing, how this ended. Why? The thing that I ask to me the most while I'm listening or watching to it is why? Why? Like, why in every aspect? Why he or she did it? Why it happens? Why didn't nobody said anything? Depending on the case. So I think why is the thing.
I had damn, I'm sad now because I remember, but that's why we get so hooked, because we have this emotional connection with the thing. It's about the 13 Reasons Why. Okay, disclaimer here. If you are sensitive to this stuff, don't watch it because you may have some triggers, you know, because it's very bad what happened there. Now I'm making a propaganda of the thing because now they will be curious. But the thing that I felt all the time, why are people being, you know, so rude, so bad? I almost used that word, you know, and I asked exactly like that. Why isn't anyone doing anything, you know, to stop that, you know? You mentioned something about the mass shootings, like that sometimes it's a mix of things, right? How do you see the hobbies that we have, like we are interested to violent things, movies, video games, stories, magazines, you know. And some people, they are really, really, really extreme, like, oh, you should banish this, you should prohibit. How do you see that?
Everything that is banished, that we prohibited, it will be worst. In any case,
like create a black market of things.
Yes, it's not good to banish any something, you know, because it makes people more interest about it in not a healthy way. So I think we just need to know how to deal with this. For example, violent games. Oh, okay, they are violent, but how do you deal with this? Do you deal in a healthy way, or do you deal in a non-healthy way? So I think it is just perspective, you know, how do you deal with this? So I think we should analyze ourselves. Each person should analyze and see how you deal. Oh no, I see that I'm more violent because of this. I see that I don't have more patience. I'm start to be someone that I didn't used to be. Stop it. You don't deal well.
Yeah.
You know, look for something else. But if you
be honest with yourself.
Yes,
too.
exactly. If you do well, oh, it relaxes me. Like me, keep going.
Yeah,
just
coming from a teacher is very nice to hear that, you know, because there is a movie, Demolition Man, Wesley Snipes and Stallone. It's kind of a dystopia in a way, but it's a alternative universe where people is prohibited to consume all type of violent things. Even sex is prohibited. They use like a virtual helmet. It's crazy. But it's interesting because it's exactly this discussion. Like, violence is, in a way, part of our nature to protect ourselves and the ones we love. And these kind of music movies can be a way out in a way. I don't know if you guys are like this. You can talk on the chat, but you are having a bad day. When I'm sad, I want to listen to James Blunt. I don't listen to a happy song. It doesn't work. I want to, go deep there.
You want to feel it.
Exactly.
Because when you feel it, you don't explode.
Yes.
The problem is when you explode.
Yeah, or you keep everything bottled up as well.
Yes.
Don't do that, guys.
Feel
Look
your
for help.
Yes, feel your feelings, look for help.
Yeah, and when I'm angry, for example, I prefer to watch an action movie, or play a game that is like that, and it's kind of you digest the feeling, then I'm fine now, you know.
It's exactly like this.
Maybe this could be an interesting way to handle, where can I hear this? Where are the channels you normally go?
I mostly listen to two YouTube channels. Jaqueline Guerreiro.
Okay, take notes.
Yes, take notes, guys, with Quinta Misteriosa. It's really good. I love her. She's amazing. And my favorite one is Ler Até Amanhecer. In this YouTube channel, she talks about series, she talks about the true crimes, and she talks about all her stories too. And about books and literature, so she got everything that I kind of like.
Nice. Do you recommend any English channel that people could practice their listening or their vocabulary, maybe?
To be honest with you, I haven't liked English ones since now.
What was the difference that you felt?
I don't know. I think they didn't got my attention enough. The way the narrative was going, I didn't like it.
Okay.
Like the way that they explained things, I was like,
no suspense?
No suspense, just facts. You don't have the reason,
Okay.
It happens like this. Okay, but why? And what happened later? And the motivation of the crime, what happened? No, it's just like literally telling what happens, but not with the thing that makes it good.
No, now it's easy to understand why you like the ones you like, because you have the whole narrative and the emotional connection there.
Yes, exactly.
I will recommend you one that you will probably get interested. It's about a case that was studied in neuroscience from Charles Whitman, I guess. Yeah, Charles Whitman. Do you know?
No, this one no.
Okay, listen to this, guys. I will tell a story now. Turns out this guy was the neighbor. Oh yes, I will check the chat. The neighbor Boy Scout, former Marine. Actually, he was a Boy Scout as a kid. Had his family, used like a 24/7 type of guy who used to go to work and do everything. One day he wakes up, he kills his family, shooting them, goes to a tower in one university. And he starts shooting people. I guess I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was something like killed 10 people and injured, 20, Gosh. Then the police came and shot him dead. Do you know the story?
No, this one, no.
Yeah. Are you curious enough?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm doing it right. So what happened? They found, and this is very interesting, guys, because sometimes we are very quick to judge, and it's part of our nature too. But there was a letter that he wrote. He says, I have no idea why I've done it. I really can't explain. And he had been complaining about some severe headaches for a while. And then he said, if I am dead, I think you should study my brain. And that's the crazy thing. We have this part of the brain called amygdala that is responsible for mediating aggression. He had a big tumor there that was pressing his amygdala and causing the aggression. It's not only a tumor that will make you be aggressive, because he was cast out of the army because he hit an officer. He had some problems with violence too. So there was a history there.
And then the tumor just make it worse.
Yeah, no, the tumor was the decisive thing. The tumor was pressing a part of his brain. Charles Whitman, okay, I think was in the 60s. So because of that, he did what he did, So how many whys could be due to this, a healthy issue, Especially a mental health issue, something like that. I'll leave you with that. Let's take a look at the chat here. Hello, Edson. Guys, a lot of people interacting today. Nice. Keep doing this, guys. Share this video with someone, subscribe to the channel, okay? Activate all the notifications so you will know when we release a new video. We are doing this weekly, okay, guys? And thank you for the support. All right, okay. Let me check here. Hello, Edson. He said hello.
Hello, Edson.
Victor said that, okay, about the second season here. Okay. Will. Oh, hi, Will. Willie. What I like the most about true crime stories is how the investigators solve the case. Okay. The Sherlock Holmes thing behind it. Or like the movie Knives Out. Hi, Claudio. Then Isabella said here, have you heard about the Brazilian movie O Lobo Atrás da Porta? It's a very good movie for a Friday night. Okay. Do you know this one?
No, to be honest, no. Now I'm interested in it.
Okay. Without giving severe spoilers, Isabella, can you, sell the movie for us, please? Corvinal said here, would Lord, I will leave this one for you. Would Lord Voldemort make a good villain?
Lord Voldemort...
Noseless villain.
I think he, in part, yes.
Okay, what makes him a good villain?
His history is a good explanation to him to be a good villain. But maybe I'm wrong, baby. You guys are gonna hate me forever because of this. But I feel like Voldemort nowadays, that time no, but nowadays Lord Voldemort is just like a cliche. Mm-hmm. He becomes a cliche. He had a good story to be a villain. Mm-hmm. His whole construction is really good. The character is awesome. But nowadays I feel like he's a cliche. Mm-hmm. But he's a good villain. I think he would be good.
Yeah, and my favorite movie of all time is Lord of the Rings. Sauron is the most cliche villain ever. It's just, I want to rule the world, Yeah. But in terms of construction, I think Thanos is more interesting, the one in the movies.
Yes.
Because not that I agree with him all the time, but
all the time.
But that aspect that we see the perspective of a villain is very interesting. Have you watched the Joaquin Phoenix the movie The Joker?
Yes.
What's your take on this one?
I would say that the Joker is one of my favorite villains ever. Mm-hmm. He becomes one of my favorites because of this movie, actually, because we could see everything in his perspective. Mm-hmm. So with Lord Voldemort, we don't have this. We just have Harry's perspective most of the time.
Exactly.
So he's a good villain, but okay, I don't feel him. Mm-hmm. With the Joker, we can feel him.
Yeah, there are few, movie makers that they can really access our gut. And damn, I hate it, but I understand why he's doing that.
Yes.
And the crazy thing about this is the bittersweet feeling that I know this is morally wrong, but I understand.
Yes, if I was in his shoes, probably I would do the same thing. He's totally wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have this thing.
This is an amazing discussion about free will as well, when they talk about the Charles Whitman case. If you were Charles Whitman with his life history and his genes and his brain tumor pressing your amygdala, you would probably done something similar, and that's the crazy thing,
Yeah.
This is another reason that these stories are very effective in a way. It makes us think about it. All right, so don't hate her because of Voldemort, okay?
Guys, I love Harry Potter, I swear.
All right, Luis says here, narcissism, Machiavellism, and so, okay, the dark triad characteristics, okay? Jacqueline, oh, thank you, Jackie, is the good son, the o anjo malvado in Portuguese, okay? Victor Vasconcelos said here, the dumber guy received a lot of letters when he was jailed. Oh.
Yes.
He's one of the examples who had a fan club, right?
Yes.
Something like that.
One of them.
Yeah. Okay. I said Isabella told she loves you.
I think
Oh, Victor said here, including famous people. Damn, I didn't know.
yeah, this part I didn't know too.
Yeah, guys, don't forget to tell us your local true crime stories. Do you want to tell or want me to tell the one that happened here? I
You
think you will tell better than me, probably.
Do you think?
Yeah,
Oh,
you are okay.
I probably I will not remember all the details because you just told me.
You tell and I help you then.
Okay, so here in Campinas,
Mm-hmm.
there was a store, right? From a family, from what I
Yeah,
remember.
it was a traditional store. The guy used to sell. I'm telling the past because he almost gave a spoiler. They used to sell cheese there.
Yes.
Okay.
And one of his employees, he used to work with this guy. And he said to the police that this guy was blackmailing him. And he killed this guy. And in 2 blocks, he buried the guy, right?
Yeah, like, almost in front of the store.
Yes, almost in front of the store, he
In a
buried the guy.
square. If you are interesting, like your grandmother used to be, like, oh really? Wow. You probably like true crime too. Okay, so but this happens here, guys, and it's very recent. And something that I noticed when something really close to us happens, the same comment comes over and over. Oh, I knew the guy. Oh, he used to
Yes.
study with me. Oh, I went there once. Actually, I'm guilty too, because it was the first thing I told you. Oh, I used
Yes.
to go to that store, It's the first reaction that people do,
It's like, come on, like him,
Yeah, him.
he did it. Come on, it's impossible.
People do that with famous ones too. When some pop star or is involved in some scandal, some people say, "Oh, but check if it's true before anything."
Yes,
you know?
I can't believe it. She should be so nice. She was always nice with her fans.
Dark, try it.
Yes.
Maybe it was that. Okay. All right. Let me see the chat here. Claudio is asking if it's true that you listen to these stories to relax, and he's like, to relax and sleep.
Yes, it is totally true. Every time that I am really stressed or every night when I'm going to sleep, I listen to stories like this.
Have you ever slept in the middle of a story, or you
Yes.
have to wait to
No,
finish?
I always sleep in the middle. Because, as I told you, usually to sleep, I just listen to the ones that I already know.
Okay.
Or if I listen to new ones, in the next day, I listen again.
All right. Okay. So, you don't have that type of. Some people are like this with series and movies too. When they start, they have to go all the way through.
No, I don't have problems with this.
Okay. Something that I was curious, what is the average length of these episodes? Is like 10 minutes, 1 hour, or depends?
Depends of the case.
Okay.
Depends of the case. Usually the case that I already solved, that we already have all the proofs, we have the people in jail and everything. They are more like 40-30 minutes. But the ones that are really hard to tell or were complicated to solve, like 1 hour maybe.
Have you ever been pissed off or disappointed because any episodes, like the moment you release, like, God.
Yes.
Is it normal to happen?
Yes, it is. It is quite common to happen.
Really? Yeah. What's the trigger for that normally?
It is more like I'm doing the whole story in my head together, like to try to understand what happened. And it didn't happen what I thought. Like, I'm wrong. Okay, I'm wrong.
You got disappointed because you were a bad detective.
Exactly.
Okay.
And nowadays I'm trying to stop to be a detective because I realize that I'm not good at it. And when they don't answer one of my whys,
Yeah, but that makes sense.
Yes, like I know that they couldn't even think, okay, Lavinia's thinking about this why. But usually these girls, they always answer my whys. But when they don't answer, I'm like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah. Do you believe, completely random, but I'm thinking now. Do you believe in the supernatural, like ghosts or stuff? You
I
do.
I
Okay,
do.
are you afraid of it?
No.
That's interesting.
No, but I'm afraid to see it.
Okay.
I know it exists. Okay. Okay. Maybe there's a ghost here. Okay, there's a ghost here. But if I see a
Just
ghost,
ignore me.
yes, just ignore me. I'm just gonna ignore you. You know. I'm okay with this. But like to watch, like really hard things. For example, horror movies that we see like the demon acting the person, things like this. I really don't like because I know it can be true. Like in my belief, I know that it can be true. But I do believe, and I don't have problems with this. Like it's here, okay, it's here. Just don't mess with me. I don't mess with you, and that's okay.
No, I'm very curious because I mentioned before when they have this kind of, it could be this or could be that. For example, the Emily Rose exorcism.
Yeah.
Do you know the story?
This one I know.
And you watched the movie?
Nope.
Okay, don't do it because
No, yes. I think I've watched like 3 horror movies in my whole life. And one of them, I don't remember the name in English, is A Morte do Demônio.
Oh, it's the best one. Oh my god.
I swear to God, I watched this in school.
In school?
In school.
Like in a class, the teacher like, guys, today the class will be about...
Because of Halloween. It was Halloween time. And I watched it in school, and I was really afraid. In that time, I think, for what I remember, my memory is really bad, I didn't need to use glasses. So what I did, I put my thumbs in my ears, and I closed my eyes. And people saw it, that I was so afraid, and they could pushing like me, making me feel scared, you know?
There's a cute scene, look, and then...
Yeah, so it was a bad experience. Probably it was a trauma.
Oh, okay.
So I don't watch it. I don't like it.
In a way, it's good that you learn to like don't watch this type of movie because it causes you a bad feeling.
Yes, I listen to the stories about this. I don't have problems with listening or reading this stuff, but I don't like to see. Like visual is too much to me.
I'm asking because this Emily Rose exorcism, I imagine it's probably an episode of a podcast because there was something. Have you listened to it?
Yes, yes. Like in the ones that I like, there's an episode of this one, and I heard it, and it was like, gosh, God, like what?
Okay, was the father's fault or no? Was actually
yes. This one is
on
one.
The fence.
This one triggers me until today because maybe could be, maybe could be not. Like there's a line that is really dangerous to cross. So we never know when we are crossing this line or not. So this just shows me. So this one, I listened to it like just once, and I want to never listen to it again.
Gave you the creeps.
This one, yes, it's just creeps. Like, come on. This one is one that I avoid.
Okay. Oh, we are running out of time already. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me just a quick check on the chat. Okay. Oh my god, people are talking a lot. Nice. I like that. Nice. Willie mentioned here a local true crime that I remember. It's about o maníaco do parque, a serial killer who killed some women in the park. Have they made a movie about this one? I hope they don't. But this was from the 90s, I guess.
Yes, it's from the 90s. I remember this case.
Yeah, it was very famous too. I remember. I'm laughing because of what I'm about to do, okay? The red light bandit, when I was a kid, it was something that made me very curious to the one I told you before. Okay. And, this is a very interesting case. Pedrinho Matador. Yeah, is one of the, Vitor said here, is one of the most known history of criminal minds in Brazil. That guy passed a few months ago. There's some, but that's the thing. It's difficult to separate fact from fiction when it's something like that because people say the guy was, I don't know, like 5'8" feet tall, like 70 kilos, and was very strong. Like he killed many people in prison. You know, I don't know how much of that is actually true, but there is a myth behind now. Lavínia, thank you so much. Would you like to say something to our viewers before we go? Recommendations, maybe?
Yes, I would like just say thank you, guys. It was a really pleasure to be here. I really enjoy it. It was really nice. Kind of nervous, but it was awesome. And I would recommend some documentaries, not series, but the documentaries about Elisa Matsunaga, João de Deus, the ones that you can start to enjoy the true crime thing. Nice.
Something that I want to finish with these guys now, seriously. If you feel that you need to talk to someone, go to a therapist. We were talking about this before, but it's something that sometimes you just need to be heard, and life is not always easy, but if you have the chance, just go talk to someone, okay? If you can hear and enjoy this type of things to relax, go ahead, Well, thank you so much, guys, for all the support, for the messages on the chat, okay? I hope to see you next week on episode 6, okay? I am Maick Ofel, your host. Don't forget to like, to share this video, and see you next week on Talking Times podcast.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.